Hello and welcome back to Alien Arms LLC YouTube channel. My name is Ray. I'm the CEO and Master Gunsmith. Today I'd like to go ahead and talk to you about the different types of stippling we do in-house here at Alien Arms, both the grip surface area as well as the surface area texturing. First off, the examples we have right here, safety first, they're all unloaded and cleared. That's where I understand, so magazines are out. We'll go ahead and discuss stippling. There are two types of stippling that can be done to a metal firearm here at Alien Arms. The first one is the grip surface area. That's the area that you're actually going to go ahead and grip. As I pick this first one up, it encompasses the front strap, the back area on the mag well, the front of the trigger guard. Those are the areas that when you go to fire or shoot, those are the areas that your hand and palm grip. So that's the grip surface area. The second is going to be the texturing that can be done on the surface area. So here on the top right here, we have some serrations along the sight path as well as some jeweler stippling on either side of that. Both the stippling that we do have form and function. The grip surface area is to go ahead and give you more purchase when it comes to recoil. So as you fire the weapon, you have more controllability of the weapon. So as you shoot it, it stays in your hand, it stays put. Whereas the texturing that we do acts more of an anti-glare. So it cuts down the amount of glare that comes up in the sight picture. And those are the two types. Here we have a full-size 5-inch 1911. And the grip surface area stippling is golf ball stippling, also known as grip tape stippling, just like grip tape on a skateboard. Here we see it on the magwell mainspring housing, the front strap, the front of the trigger guard. You also have it here on the mag release, the slide release, the ambidextrous safety. And then here on the slide, we have serrations running through the sight picture with serrations at the rear of the sight. The reason for the serrations at the rear of the sight is it helps cut down with the distortion. The same with the serrations through the sight picture. On either side of the serrations, you'll see our jeweler stippling, and that's to help cut down with glare. Same with the jeweler stippling at the rear of the slide right here. The grip surface area helps with the overall holding of the pistol in the recoil cycle, whereas the surface area texturing and stippling helps with the glare. As you're shooting it, you don't get the distortion through the sight picture. The other thing we have right here are grip panels on either side. These are gunner grips, Simatech gunner grips. These are original grips, and they really add to the surface grip area, and it gives you really good purchase. So as you're holding it and as you're firing in the recoil phase, it helps the pistol stay put and lessens the muzzle flip and allows you to go ahead and have quicker follow-up shots because you don't come off target as easy. Our next one up is what we call our dog chewed pattern. Here you see it on the bobtail mainspring housing, on the front strap, on the front of the trigger guard, right here inside on the hammer face. Also you see it on the mag release, the thumb safety, and the slide release. You also see it here in the slide serration area, as well as a heavier rhino hide stippling that we do here on top of the slide. The dog chew stippling is more aggressive than the golf ball pattern, but it's not aggressive to the point where it hurts your hand when you're shooting it, and you can shoot a good long session without fatiguing your hand. The grips we have right here, the grip panels, are golf ball stippling on the surface area with a thumb notch. So those of you who are right-handed, it allows you more accessibility for the mag release, so you can hit it a lot easier. And again, the overall feel with this, it gives you a lot of purchase. So on those follow-up shots, it makes it a lot faster. On your shorter 1911s, which is this one right here, this is about the size slide as an officer, and this is a commander frame. But on your shorter ones, the shorter you go, you have the same amount of force and energy that you have shooting a larger one. So it can be a little more snappy when you shoot it. So because of that, you're going to want a grip surface area that's a little more aggressive, gives you a little more purchase when you're shooting, so it cuts down on the recoil as far as it slipping in your hand. Cuts down that on a lot more. Our next 1911 here is a full size, and this is what we call our tree bark stippling. It's more of a linear pattern, and in the hand it feels just like the branch of a tree. And here you see it on the front strap, the front of the trigger guard, on the trigger face, magwell back here, on the back of the slide. That's to help cut down with glare, as well as the top of the slide. The sights you see are serrated. All that's to help with the distortion and the glare when you're shooting. The tree bark, it's a linear pattern, and it helps really well when you're shooting it because it helps take out the left and right deviation in the recoil. Next up is a variation of that stippling pattern, and this is what we call our feathered pattern. And think of the quill of a feather. It's linear, and it kind of goes to the left and right a little bit, and there's a little subtle difference in this pattern when you're shooting it and how it feels. Again, we have it on the front strap, front of the trigger guard, the mainspring housing here, the magwell mainspring housing, and then at the back of the slide we have our jeweler stippling, as well on top of the slide right here we have our jeweler stippling. The jeweler stippling helps cut down any kind of glare that comes off as you're shooting, and it helps with reducing the deviation as far as the sight picture. The difference between this stippling pattern and the tree bark is not only does it help disperse the left and right wobble when you're shooting it, it's also cut so that in the recoil pattern it helps with muzzle flip, and it cuts down on the muzzle flip as well as the left and right. And this also is about a medium aggressiveness, and it's another one of those that we do in-house. It looks good, it feels good. You can shoot this all day and you're not going to fatigue your hand. It's not going to feel like you got your hand chewed up at the range. Here on this one is my favorite stippling that we do here at Alien Arms. This is our boar's hair stippling. When you first look at it, here on the mainspring housing, the bobtail mainspring housing, and at the rear of the grip safety, as well as the front strap and the front of the trigger guard, it looks very aggressive. But when you go to grip it, it's actually feels very nice in the hand. When we cut this stippling pattern, we cut it in a way so that in the recoil phase, as the muzzle flips up, it actually grips your hand more. Here you also see it on the back of the slide. Again, that's to help with glare and to minimize distortion. And then we have serrations on the front sight. Here on top, we have our jeweler stippling. Here we have the same stippling pattern on the grip screws. That's decorative, but it also does help with the grip surface area. These grip panels right here are VZ Grips stippled grip. You can hold on to this all day and it's not going to fatigue your hand. It's not going to bite you. It's not going to cut you. Though when you first look at it, it does look very intimidating. The grip surface area of your pistol is one of those things that you can customize to give you better purchase and help when it comes to shooting your firearm. It's one of those things you can do that right off the back, it's going to help you hold on to your firearm regardless of caliber. And when you shoot it, it's going to make it feel better as you're shooting it. And that's one of those things that we keep on telling you. It's how it feels when you shoot it, not how it feels in your hand at the store. So this is our boar's hair stippling. It's my favorite. I could probably go on and on a little bit more about it, but alas, I'll go ahead and bring out the next one and show you. This is one of our 10mm hunting platform pistols. There's several things with this that are unique that only we do. Again, you're going to see that aggressive boar's hair stippling on the front strap, front of the trigger guard. We also have it here on the trigger face. All the controls are going to be in that same stippling pattern. The mag well is going to have the same stippling pattern. The rear of the slide is going to have that same stippling pattern. And then along the sight path, we have that same stippling pattern. The other thing that's unique about this pistol is that the entire surface area of this pistol is covered with our rhino hide stippling pattern. The entire surface area has a grip to it. All the surface area, including the front, under the trigger guard, the undercut, all the surface area has that. The rhino hide stippling is there and it serves to cut down on any glare that might be coming off the pistol. And when you get into the hunting distances for a pistol, a lot of animals that you might hunt may be colorblind. They're not going to see color, but they can see glare. And that glare can give your position away. It can act as a sight signature that they will see. And by texturing the entire surface area, it creates an uneven surface area for light to go ahead and bounce off of. And that's why we do it. I wish you could actually feel it. It's quite unique. The grips panels on this are a coarse diamond with a little bit of a thumb notch here. And the overall feel of this is very good. A lot of purchase when it comes to gripping in the grip surface area. When it comes to our hunting packages, this is usually exactly how we go ahead and set them up. The other thing with this pistol is if you look at it, the camo pattern here is what we call our boar's hair camo pattern. We can do it in several different colors, and each one of these looks like a hair is a brush stroke. We use a KG coating, we apply it, then we cover the entire area with a mat, and it really cuts down on any glare. So one thing that people ask us a lot, or I get asked a lot, is why stippling versus what else is out there? It comes down to how you shoot, the conditions you shoot, and why you're shooting what you're shooting. It could be everything from how you carry, whether you shoot with gloves, not shoot with gloves, whether it's competition, not competition. There's a difference between factory checkering. There is some stippling you get from the factory. There's a difference between smooth. When you're shooting something smooth, you can grip as hard as you want, but because it's smooth, there's always going to be that little bit of a slip in the recoil. It's just natural. It's what happens. It's just like when you're holding on to something, especially when your hands are wet or sweaty, it's just going to move a little bit more than you want it to in your hands. You're swinging a baseball bat and you don't have gloves on. You're swinging a bat that doesn't have any pine tar or pitch. Without that grip surface area, it's going to move a little bit. So as you swing it, it might move a little bit. When you make contact, that bat might shift in your hands just a little bit. It's the same thing when you're shooting. So because of that, you can do something that's going to be totally unique to your pistol so that you can go ahead and have what you like as far as when you shoot it, how it feels in your hand. So anything you can do to decrease the amount of movement when you're shooting in the recoil phase is something you can do. When people start thinking about customizing, a lot of times they look at sights. A lot of times they look at triggers, and that's good too. Those are probably the first two things I would do. But if you're having a hard time holding on, or you don't like the fact that it moves a little bit too much when you're shooting it, this is where stippling comes in. Now, again, there's always checkering, and hand cut checkering is good. I like and I enjoy hand cut checkering. Again, I think I've told you my favorite is 25 lines per inch. We can do that. But stippling is something that's totally different, and it has different applications because we do several different patterns. And that's one of those things where if you don't like the checkering or you want something that's not as traditional, we can do that. The other thing is the surface area to cut down on glare, to cut down the distortion, or sometimes you just want it cosmetic because it looks cool. We do that too. There are those things that you can do. Let me go ahead and talk to you a little bit about the different patterns. I've alluded to that and you've heard me talk about it, but the development, well, the golf ball or grip tape pattern has been around for a long time. We're not the only ones that do it. There's several other places that do it. And again, it's a very good purchase in the hand. The dog chewed pattern, we're actually building a pit bull for my son. I built several of them as well, but we never did a unique pattern for that. Well, pit bull. All dogs will chew on something, whether it's a bone that you give them, and puppies in particular will chew on everything. Well, one day, as I was building this pistol for him, I kind of saw a tin bowl, or I think it was a pie tin or something like that, that the dog had chewed on. It was kind of unique. As I went to pick it up, I felt how it was coarse, and I thought to myself, this would be an excellent, especially for a pistol that's called a pit bull. So played around with it on some metal, and then after I played around, got the look down that I wanted, I picked out the punches that I needed to make that happen, sharpened them up, and then I went to town and was able to pull off the look. It's a cool look. Again, it's a medium aggressiveness. I like it, and we get calls for that, especially guys that want a pistol that looks kind of tough or mean. It's one that we do. Tree bark. The way I came up with that is I had people talk to me about shooting certain kind of calibers, 38 Super, 10 mil, and as they're shooting it, they felt that their pistol was kind of rotating left or right. I'm from that generation that you picked a switch. I remember going and getting switches or branches from a tree, and they kind of stick in your hand pretty good. Kind of felt one, kind of liked the way it looked as far as the aesthetics. So I tried that pattern, came up with it, developed that pattern, and used it. And it does help really control with any kind of left or right deviation when you shoot it. Came up with the feathered or the quill pattern. The reason for that pattern, same thing, left and right control. But what about the people that had left and right control as well as muzzle flip? Left and right, and then it's a more snappy caliber, 40 cal, 357 SIG, 40 Corbon, things like that. Well, I figured if we can go ahead and do it, make it come off at an angle so that in the recoil phase, it gripped your hand a little bit more. And again, looks very similar to the tree bark, but it is slightly different. And when you grip it and feel it in your hand, it will feel slightly different. Boar's hair stippling, went on a pig hunt. While on that pig hunt, as we were going and policing up the animals on the boar's back of the head, shoulder area, it's called a gristle pad. Bears and wild boars have those. The hair in that area is quite coarse. So as your hands were dirty or bloodied, as we went to go pick up the carcasses, grab them behind the head and grab them towards the back, and it just didn't slip out of the hand. I felt that, and I thought to myself, not only does it look aggressive and look pretty cool, I wonder if I could go ahead and duplicate this so that when you're shooting, you get the same thing. It doesn't slip in the hand. And voila, came up with a pattern, went ahead and did it. It took, maybe about 3 or 4 tries to get the reverse angle stippling portion of it with it, so that in the recoil phase, it all gets controlled in the hand. It actually grips your hand more. So instead of you having to double down and gripping it harder, the pistol naturally grips your hand and stays put in the recoil phase. And then last but not least, the Rhino stippling, as far as the entire surface area, I'm not going to say it's cosmetic because it looks cosmetic. It looks like it's there, but it truly does cut down on glare. If you've ever hunted close range, those of you who know, you know. Those of you who've been in the military and have done night missions, you don't want anything shiny. You don't want anything to glare, anything to give off any kind of light signature or anything like that. So there were things that we did to help control that. I took the same mentality and said, how do I apply it to metal? Well, I knew that any kind of shiny surface would give more feedback, especially when lasers were coming over you and lights were coming over you. I knew that already. So what I decided to do is apply the same kind of technique, but doing it in a stippling pattern. So that's what we did. It's a little more aggressive than jeweler stippling, and it creates an entire surface area where it cuts down on any kind of light signature. So it's something we can do on rifles, but it's something we primarily do a lot on as far as pistols are concerned. And it's something we definitely do on every single one of our hunting packages. So price, it doesn't have to be expensive. Price is going to vary depending on how much stippling we do. It's all done by hand, and it can be more surface area, less surface area. Again, we sit down, we chat, you let us know what your shooting techniques are, and then we come up with a pattern, and then we go from there. Sometimes it's cosmetic. Most of the time, though, we do it for intentional purposes to help reduce the recoil muzzle flip, as well as deviation left or right. So that's it for stippling and the kind of stippling we do here at Alien Arms. If you have any questions, please write them in the comments. Feel free to go ahead and contact us. Thank you for hanging out with me today. If you like what you see, hit that like button. Please subscribe, hit that notification button so you know when more of these shorts or more of these videos come out. Again, this is Ray. Thanks for being with me. Take care. God bless. When we see you next time,